It's not just why should you build a local affiliate SEO business, it's why should you not. What's going on, everybody? Matt Wacek here, coming at you with a brand new video, and I want to explain exactly why you should not do local affiliate SEO marketing. Now, when I say local affiliate SEO marketing, I'm referring to lead gen, pay-per-call, pay-per-lead. There's a bunch of different words for it. I'm just going to call it local affiliate SEO or local affiliate marketing. Whatever you want to call it works just fine. It all means the same thing. Now, this video is going to be quite a bit different than a lot of my other content where we're talking about doing local affiliate SEO, building sites, ranking them, and monetizing and optimizing conversions, and a whole host of other things like that. This video, we're going to argue on the other side of this and basically say why you should not do this type of business model. So before we get into it though, there are negatives to everything in life. And it's not limited to just business and entrepreneurship. It's going to be in everything out there. For example, if you want to go play in the NFL, you're going to have some negatives. You're going to have to be traveling constantly. You're going to be in the gym a ton. You're going to be practicing. You're going to be wearing your body out. You're susceptible to injuries, a lot of them. But on the flip side, you have the potential to earn millions and millions of dollars. So you have to weigh out those pros and cons. So that's just one example of many with how you have to essentially weigh out the pros and cons for doing something. But let's get into my computer and take a look at some of these different examples. Now, the first negative, if you want to call it that, to doing local affiliate SEO that I want you to be aware of is the factor of time. And not only is it going to take time to rank a site, which most of us are aware of, but a lot of people coming in don't really understand that it's a multi-week, multi-month game, but also the fact of time to build a website. You're going to have to learn how to use software to build out a site. Granted, those tools out there like Elementor Pro and Thrive Architect, which are two of the top ones I use. I'm switching primarily over to Elementor Pro now, like I've mentioned in videos past, but you still have to learn that software in order to be able to build out the sites. And obviously, once you learn the softwares, you can start building out content rather quickly and building out sites, but you have to learn that. So that's going to take time. Then you have to build the website. Then it's going to take a couple months for the site to rank. Are there times out there when if you build a site and you super optimize the on-page, the meta title, the URL, the description, everything, and you can get a lead within a couple weeks? Absolutely. I've done it. I've seen others do it, and it's absolutely possible. But you don't want to go into it with that expectation that, okay, if your rent is due or something like in 2 weeks and you need to make $500 or whatever it may be, that the site that you put together is magically going to make that. I'm going to say this right now, it's not going to. You're going to have to put in some time and have some patience for the site to rank over the next 3, 4, 5, 6 months. That is just the reality of it. You're going to have to put in focus, consistency, and have the patience to see that to fruition. You can't come into this with the employee mindset of, I need money now. If you need money now, you go become an employee, or you sell services on a platform like Legit or Fiverr or whatever, and take your skill set that you've acquired, whatever that skill set might be writing SEO articles, it could be doing backlinks, it could be doing keyword research for somebody, or whatever. It doesn't even have to be SEO related. It could be graphic design or something else. Sell that service in exchange for currency, take that currency and invest it into growing your business or pay for whatever it is you need to pay for. But either way, have some stable income because you're going to go into the red for 2, maybe 3, maybe 4, depending on how competitive the search is, months before you start to earn back some solid amount of commission. So just be aware that it's going to take time to not only learn all these things and learn how to build websites and do everything that goes into it, but also the time to rank. And the second thing that you need to be aware of coming into doing local affiliate SEO, and this isn't limited to just this business model, but capital. You're going to have to put forth some currency to acquire things in order to make this business work. And there's no business out there that's exempt from this. Not any business out there, with the exception of selling a service from a freelancing site or calling out somebody on the phone and try to sell them a website or sell them SEO services. Even with an online business, there are not exemptions to this as well. If you're going to go out there and start a Shopify, e-commerce, dropshipping, whatever store, you have to pay for Shopify software, the apps, the marketing, the ads, and everything like that. That's all going to have a cost. And oftentimes, a lot of those guys that run those stores that know what they're doing, they don't make any money for the first month or two on those products that they sell initially from those ads. They make money by email marketing and retargeting the people that visited their store without buying, or previous customers, or whatever the case may be, whatever they're trying to sell. That's where they make their money back, is on the second purchases. So you need to be aware that you're going to have to invest money into it. And if you were to go even more broad and look at other offline businesses, you look at a restaurant, you're going to be spending $500,000, or actually I shouldn't say spending, but you're going to be investing $500,000, maybe $1 million or even more into that restaurant, and it may not make an ROI after 2 or 3 years. And when you compare that to maybe spending $500 or $1,000 to build out 3, 4, 5, 6 SEO sites, and the softwares and the linking and everything like that needs to be done, where you can earn back an ROI probably within 3 to 4 months in many cases, this is almost laughable and compared to the patience and time and capital that goes into an offline business like a restaurant or something of the sort. So just be aware that you have to go into this, and you have to be willing to go into the red for multiple months. But then the fruits of your labor, as long as you stay consistent and focused on building your links and making sure your content's good and everything like that, it will pay off. You're going to acquire rankings, and you're going to start getting traffic and conversions. I had to mention capital because so many come into this and they say, I have $30, can I make money with this? And you can get a website in existence, but it's going to take a lot of time if you're not doing any link building to get that site to rank and to get a solid amount of traffic and conversions coming in. So just be aware that you're going to have to be willing to quote unquote risk capital in order to build a website. But the only real downside to building your own affiliate SEO site where you maybe spent a couple $100 is that you had a learning experience if it didn't in fact work out. And really the only time a site doesn't work out is if you got hit with a penalty, which can be reversed. That's only if you're doing some super spammy crap where it's just painfully obvious to Google, where you're absolutely just spamming your site with no disregard. So that's honestly pretty unlikely. So the downside is actually really not that bad. It's just that, oh, you're gonna have to start over again. And that's only if you're building a site that looks like it's complete spam, or 2, you have a really bad backlinking strategy. And I've done just straight PBN links to some sites and they still rank and they still work just fine. That's without doing any of the trust building, and they still work just fine. So anyways, you're going to have to be willing to quote unquote risk putting capital into yourself, essentially, because you're betting on yourself to purchase the things that you need, the domain hosting software and the links. And this leads into the next point, which is effort. And this is where a lot of people have a very misconstrued viewpoint on this, because there's so many people out there online where they say, oh yeah, you just do this one thing and you magically start making money. And that's not how a legitimate business operates. It's going to take some time. It's going to take focus. It's going to take consistency. It's going to take effort. You're going to have to learn. And will there be times in the future where you could take an entire week off and you made as much money as you did when you were actively working? Yes, absolutely. It's 100% possible. But you have to put in that effort beforehand, so those things are built that are going to generate that money, are in existence, and then while you're on that vacation or whatever you're doing, you'll have the money coming in because you did all that work in the past. The same thing happens in an offline business. Let's say you're cutting grass or something like that, and you have you out there doing it, but eventually you start getting employees and you start hiring managers and that sort of stuff, and you get to the point where you do not have to be there for a month straight, but your business still made you $20,000 profit for your salary or whatever, however you're paying yourself. That effort has to be put in to lay that foundation for it to happen. So know that going into it. And then another thing is that so many people come to me and say, I want to make X. How long can I get there? What can I do? And my answer to that is that you have to go out there and you have to learn whatever that website is that you're building for local affiliate SEO. In this instance, you have to learn that trade. You don't have to know how to unclog a drain or anything like that, but you have to know the services that are offered and how to communicate those. Because the more that you know about each one of those services, the better that you can create content that's not only going to rank, but will also convert those people that visit your website. So rather than looking at it like an employee and say, oh, I need to make money today, go into it with the mindset of how can I create something of value that's going to help someone solve a problem, and I'm willing to learn how to do that. But nobody wants to hear that because that takes effort. So the people that don't want to put in effort, they can just go be employees, because being an employee really takes no effort outside of what you're told to do every single day. So go out there and take the initiative and put in the effort to learn the skill or the trade or whatever it is that your website is about in order to be able to sell it better, because I guarantee you'll be able to rank better because your content's going to make sense to Google's bots when it comes to ranking, and it'll also make sense to the visitors of the sites. So to wrap it all up, you're going to have to be patient and be willing to wait while you're still actively working, and essentially then that comes into running in the red for a little while to then be able to see that ROI. While you're waiting patiently, you're going to have to be putting in effort to actively learn the business that it is that you're building the website about. There's no way around it. Learning more about that particular industry is never going to be a liability to you. Learning is never going to be a liability, ever, ever, ever. So take all these 3 things. Be patient, be willing to risk capital and put in effort, and you're going to have a lot better time. And if you aren't willing to abide by these three things, then this isn't for you, and neither is building any other business out there on the entire planet. You might as well either go out there and sell a service on a freelancing site, or just have a job, or do some combination of that. Now, if you're someone who's going to be patient, you're going to be willing to put up your own capital, and you're going to be putting in the effort, be sure to go down below, smash that like button. And also, if you're not already a part of our ever-growing family, we're closing in on 2,000 subs, which I'm extremely grateful for. Go down below, smash that subscribe, and also hit the bell for notifications so you know when all the newest content comes live here on the channel. And if you want to get more guided step-by-step training on how to build a website, rank that website, and monetize it with a local affiliate offer, there are links right down below in the description of this video where you can get access to our courses that we have with step-by-step training and a whole lot more. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.